Hello everyone, Momichi here. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoyed your time with your family. Hopefully you got to talk about Bitcoin with them and potentially might have gotten them into it. While I did want to talk about it with my relatives, they didn't want to seem to talk about it too much. Uh, I was really hoping that one of them would have brought it up, even if my father did. He's strictly against Bitcoin still 8 years, 9 years later. I don't think he's gonna switch over. Even though he said it was the whole concept was interesting and he did like it, he just doesn't want to get into it for whatever reason. He never really explained it. He just thinks that it's only used for hitmen, it's only used for drugs, it's only used for money laundering. Even though he's seen the technology aspect of it and he knows what it can do, he can't seem to break that grasp of the previous whatever the word is. I can't think of it right now previous notion, I guess, of what it's been used for in the past, essentially. Yeah, I was hoping one of them would bring it up, and we could have a conversation about the recent price fluctuations and the news going on with Bitcoin. And those price fluctuations, man, we've been up and down a couple hundred. It's nothing too crazy. It's nothing we haven't seen before. Bitcoin went up to 11,700 yesterday, early around 11 a.m. here, and Central Standard Time. And Litecoin soon after passed over $100 for the first time. At least I think it was for the first time. I didn't see it go up above 100 at all until yesterday. I saw it hit like 100 and then it went back down to like 95 or so, and it kind of stayed there and didn't go up anymore. And I do kind of regret not stocking up on Litecoin earlier this year, around $3 to $5. Same with Ethereum. I had a feeling that, well, Ethereum was $10, but the the, the fact still remains, and the point still remains that these coins that you do like, you might want to go ahead and pick them up now, even though you think that they're worth way too much. You might be undervaluing them way too much. You're not seeing the bigger picture just because they went up, 5 times from when you said you were going to buy. Uh, you can still make money. You can still make good money off that, but just because it's not as much as you could have made, you don't want to think that way. Now, please don't let all these what ifs, could-ofs, and should-ofs get to you, because this is the kind of stuff that will break you down and drive you insane, especially with trading. And this is what trading does to you, and it doesn't. Uh, and, and when you don't do anything, I'm trying to say, and when you don't do anything for a while, you don't make any trades, you don't make any sudden big moves or anything, you tend to get antsy. At least in my experience, this is what I feel. I feel like I have to do something, but I do have some self control where I don't have to do anything, even though I really feel like I need to. Uh, yes, I do miss out on a lot of gains. I've called some coins that I think we're going to be doing really well. They performed well. They went up quite a bit, and yeah, I'm kind of mad at myself for not throwing money into it like I said I was going to when they were still low. That's entirely my fault. I'm not going to beat myself up over it, even though I have earlier this week. I've just been annoyed from it. You kind of have to take a step back and just let it wash over you. Yeah, you missed it. There's always another opportunity. Uh, it's still early. A lot of people aren't in crypto right now, and there's a whole lot more money that can be made just in this market alone. Even with these crazy fluctuations, or what we perceive as crazy, even though we're only in a drop, we're a drop in a bucket right now in the entire financial industry. So what I recommend is if you're starting to feel that way, just don't let it get to the point where you're beating yourself up over it. Yes, it sucks. We all go through it, and I hate it as much as the next guy. But sometimes you can't really avoid it, and the best thing to do is just kind of step back and just let whatever happens happens. What I personally do is I just sit down and I either meditate or I just lay down. Sometimes I'll complain to a friend, and then we'll make jokes about it, and then I feel better about it. It's like, yeah, I could have, but because of whatever, it's like I didn't. So I don't know. We just make jokes about it, and it kind of relieves the situation a bit and doesn't make it feel as stressful. Needless to say about that, I did throw $200 worth of Bitcoin into two different ICOs. Hopefully, I'm hoping at least that they go up, and we'll see what happens. Now, I call myself an unorthodox trader, where I hold less value in Bitcoin than I do in other altcoins. And the other day, I picked up some Obsidian. I just got 80 coins, which was about $50 worth. Nothing big. Uh, my reckless side right now, it's speaking to me. It's telling me right now that I should sell a lot of my alts just to get a master node for this coin, but I can't bring myself to that. And I know the payoff could be huge for it, but I would be risking everything I had made over these past few months. And so, but every week I'm setting aside $100 for Bitcoin, and I'm buying Bitcoin and other altcoins. I'm taking a percentage out of my Bitcoin and convert like 40%, and I'm converting that over into an altcoin. And right now I'm thinking about being bullish on both Obsidian and Mybit. Let me go. Let's show Mybit real quick. So Mybit, where are we at? At 157. This is basically ICO price, guys. You can't beat Mybit at this price. It is literally ICO price. And this is my second favorite altcoin, or in this case, a token. And I'm thinking that for the next few weeks, I'm just going to be going all in on them. So instead of $100 into Bitcoin, I'm going to be putting $100 every week into Mybit. Yes, it is kind of stupid. Yes, it is kind of reckless of me. I understand this. I understand the risk. I say don't short Bitcoin. That's probably the stupidest thing you can do if you don't know what you're doing. Most people are going to end up losing out on their money. They're going to end up losing funds. But I'm just trying to build up my holdings for Mybit until I have about 1,000 to 1,500 Mybit. And I feel like that's going to be a decent amount to hold for the coming next 5 years or so. I'm really hoping their platform takes off. You can see here they're barely known, just under 3 million supply. As for Obsidian, see, they've had some ups and downs in their price. They've actually gone down. This is about the price I got it at. So their rebrand is today. I'm not exactly sure what all this means for them. I just heard that they're having a rebrand today, or a relaunch, I should say. They're gonna be. They posted more on their Medium page about their update for the week. I'm waiting till the 8th for the next update, and their platform release is supposed to be Christmas, I believe. And so this is a pretty cheap price as we speak. If you wanted a master node, you'd more than likely have to spend around $6,000 right now. Anyways, I do plan on getting more to fill my wallet up, although I probably won't be getting enough for a master node anytime soon. I'm hoping that I can get enough to get a stake at least once a week, and each stake generally gives you about 20 Obsidian. And according to my wallet on my desktop that's staking right now, that's in about another 500 days. I went from like 309 days to 500 somehow, so that's going on with me. Alright, so Bitcoin in South Korea. I've seen people saying that this is bad and that they're trying to regulate and control Bitcoin as a whole. But from the articles I've been reading, is that this is mainly a rumor, that they just want to regulate the exchanges instead. Now, the main reason why they want to do this is because of the adoption rate. Merchants and shopkeepers, they're accepting Bitcoin on a worldwide basis as well as locally. So it makes sense why they want to regulate it in a form that you can tax it, essentially. And these are the steps that they're going to take. So they can't regulate Bitcoin as a whole. And yes, they can fork it. They can make their own little version of Bitcoin and control that. But the thing is, why would anyone pick that over Bitcoin? And yes, I know transaction fees are a little high right now. I spent about $5 the other day. But we do what we have to. We're waiting for these updates to come for Bitcoin. All right. So they're moving on to the next best thing, which they can control and regulate, and that is the exchanges. And this is why I feel like the decentralized exchanges need to start coming into play very hard. So this is their time to shine. Just this past week or two, there's been much talk about regulation on not necessarily the exchanges, but altcoins, ICOs, Bitcoin, and yes, the exchanges. And people are saying, "Oh, Bitcoin's doomed to fail without regulation," and so on. And decentralized exchanges, this is a great time to get your name out there. I know a few of them out there, like altcoin.io and Plutus. I'm not endorsed by them, but I am interested in their platform. I do plan on using them and making videos on them once their platforms are released. I am signed up for the. Hopefully, I get picked for the beta releases and beta tests. Um, I really want to use their decentralized platforms, and not to rush their development, but I think their advertising right now is in a more prime position to bring in more hype and more demand for this kind of market. Now, this sort of ties in with my next topic, not the hype aspect, but more of the regulation. And honestly, last week or two, it was kind of quiet. I did want to make videos, but I didn't really feel like talking about Bitcoin going to 11,000. Everyone was talking about Bitcoin going to 11,000, Bitcoin going to 15,000 by the end of this year. Uh, it's just things like that. There wasn't much to talk about. It was just all speculation, speculation, speculation. Nothing like an actual update. And yes, I mean, if I could have dug deeper, I would have found something. But for the most part, it was only just price speculation. And yes, there's still talks on Bitcoin being a bubble. Bitcoin is gonna die and should be banned and so forth. And that's the same FUD we've been hearing for years on end, countless years. And when I say countless, I do mean these past 8. I've heard it just about every year. It's a bubble. It's doomed to fail. No one's going to support it. And it's picking up adoption pretty fast. This is only the early stages of adoption where people are hearing about it more. It's not necessarily mainstream, but the idea out there of Bitcoin is becoming mainstream. Now, today and yesterday, I've been seeing more talk from the UK and some of their articles that they're cracking down on Bitcoin users as a whole. So here I have an article. I will post this in the description below. And it says UK Ministry of Treasury plans to regulate Bitcoin. And so their whole reason for doing this is because they're afraid that the Bitcoin users are going to be, of course, using it for illegal activities such as tax evasion, money laundering, drugs, the usual suspects of of these allegations. Now, I'm not gonna deny that this doesn't happen and that people do use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies for this kind of thing. And I know people are trying to do tax evasion with it right now. It is a very kind of controversial and gray area topic right now for taxes, even in the United States right now. And people are still trying to do tax evasion with it, and I think it is possible that you can, but you're kind of playing with fire if you're trying to do a tax evasion with this. Everything on the blockchain is available to see and is open. So if you're doing it directly from your Coinbase account, they already know that you bought Bitcoin. It's linked to your actual account. If you did something like local Bitcoins, I'm sure you could find a way. You get a paper wallet that was made off of, I don't know, a library computer or something. There's so many different things you could do to try to make it untraceable, but everything is out there in the open. And if you take certain precautions, yes, you can be quote unquote anonymous, not completely. Of course, obviously, if you're sending stuff to your house, you're not going to be anonymous. They're going to be like, well, I wonder where you got that from if you hadn't made that much money this year or something like that. And yes, I know why people do want to evade taxes, because some of them are screwed and jacked beyond belief. I know some countries, I'm sorry, but their rates are insane. Which one was it that had 50%? I think they were saying they had a 50% tax on capital gains or something like that. So, I mean, that's a whole different story, but if you're not planning on converting into fiat, then I don't think there's anything to worry about. As far as I'm aware and what I've read from different CPAs and all that, is that there are 2 different types of tax for crypto, and one's when you sell before holding it for a year, and then one's for after. They have 2 different rates. Now, I don't plan on selling any of my crypto anytime soon or at all, and I'm willing to ride out this entire ride. I believe in cryptocurrency as a whole. I know not all of these coins are going to be here. We're going to see probably a purge in the coming years. a lot of coins are just going to drop off. We're not even going to know about them. Or we will know about them, and they'll be considered the scam coins or the shit coins, as people call them. I'm not a complete Bitcoin maximalist, but I do support some of the alts. Now, I do have more to talk about, and I do have plans to talk about Venezuela's new crypto, supposedly coming out. I plan on. Sorry. I do plan on talking about it as more news comes out. The other day, it was announced that Venezuela was getting their own cryptocurrency and they were going to be backing it by their natural resources. I assume this is mainly going to be crude oil. Now, I'm not sure. That's what I'm assuming. Of course, they could change it to something else, but and while it is bringing a new interest in the public light, where a country might actually be adopting a cryptocurrency, not adopting, but creating a cryptocurrency for its own public use, I think that's great in the publicity aspect, where it's bringing use cases for the blockchain and what crypto can do for people. But what is the purpose of this coin? What can it do that Bitcoin or Litecoin or even Doge can't do? And I make this reference a lot, I know, but I'm a fan of Doge every now and then, and I would much rather use Doge than many of these other cryptos out there. Doge is a fast transfer of wealth. They have pretty low fees. Yeah, you lose a percentage when you transfer to a different exchange and sell it. There's not much you can do about that, but you're exchanging for an extremely fast transfer rate. But I see there's no reason to trade it. Their crypto, Venezuela's crypto, even if there was an attempt to make profit off it. But that's about all I have to say right now. I will be updating you guys in the coming days. Hopefully there's a few more articles out there to talk about. There was a lot I wanted to talk about right now, but I'm trying to keep the video pretty short. I'm already at 17 minutes again. I'm trying to keep them around 10 to 15, but can't always be helped. And I do want to go into more detail. I really want to make more detailed videos. And I might be releasing another video today or tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I have to be doing my research on a few different topics that I want to make videos about. But until then, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. See you guys next time.